Please join me in welcoming to the stage an elite performer, a champion, and a leader committed to meaningful impact, Michael Floyd.
Kiwanis, how y'all doing? I know the young people understand this. What's good to you older people, it means hello, hi, how you doing? You know, I just try to get into their vocabulary so they know what I'm talking about. I'm so happy to be here. I love speaking to the younger group of people who are going to change this world for us. I truly do think there's a CEO in here of some company. There's a potential someone running for president or someone to cure cancer. I truly believe that, and I think you have to believe it too. Right now, you have time to change your life. And I had the same opportunity too, and I almost wasted it. I grew up in Minnesota. It's very different from here. 8 months out of the year, it's cold. Just to let you know. I grew up in Minnesota, 4 older sisters. I'm the only boy. My mom she followed the Lord and got to know Jesus Christ when I was born. And my sisters would agree that I got a different mom than what they got. And when I started growing up, I wasn't really the person that really got taught from my parents. My mom was a single mom, raising all of us, and she did the best she could, and I appreciated that. But I never got them talks of not what to do and what to do. I actually had to go out on my own and learn from my friends. And that is not the best way to go at all. So when I got into it with my friends, we used to play all the time outside and just horse around. My mom never taught me, don't go in the store and steal anything. Don't go in there, pay for everything. About sex. Never taught me anything about sex. I had to learn from my friends, which is the worst way to go. Everything I had to learn was from the streets. Growing up in Minnesota, it was rough, and the only way to get me out of my area was through sports. My mom always harsh on me to make sure I get good grades. I could not play sports unless I got good grades. So I did. I wasn't like my friends all the time, hanging out till 11 o'clock at night, their parents not knowing where they are at all. My mom had strict rules, and that was to be in the house when the streetlights came on. So she let me play football. And at that time, I had no idea how to play. I was just outside, running around with the older kids and having fun. But there was a day when, like all the other teenagers, I was in 3rd grade and I kept getting picked first and second. I was never the last person picked, even though I was the youngest person there. The older kids saw something in me, and I picked up sports really fast. So I started playing in 3rd grade football. I played on for the West Side Boosters. It's on the south side of St. Paul. And my dad was the coach. Now I know that's the first time you heard me speak about my father, but he was in and out of my life as a young child. When I needed something, 50% of the time, my dad would show up. So I never had him to lean on. I never had him to ask questions about life. It was really just about sports. But I do remember one thing he did tell me, and that was in 3rd grade when I started playing football. It was, Michael, you can make it to the NFL. In 3rd grade, he liked sports that much that he thought his son could make it to the NFL in 3rd grade. I couldn't believe it. So I started playing team football, and for some of you guys who don't know, and I know there's some people in here who don't know the rules of football. I know there is. My mom didn't know either, so I had to tell her. It's 11 out of 11, it's 2 teams. The offense is trying to score on the defense is trying to stop them from scoring. That's mainly it in a short little sentence. But I got playing in 3rd grade, and I was pretty good. One other thing my dad told me is, you run to the right, Michael. I played running back. You run to the right. When everyone pursues that way, you run around and go to the left. And they called me back in the day deer legs, because that's all I was. I'm still just legs. I'm still just legs. And I was a great competitor. The following year, I got to play with 6th and 7th and 8th graders. And I was still one of the best players out there. Still dominating. Still scoring touchdowns. And I remember when I got to 8th grade, it was my last game. And a random guy came up to me behind my ear. And he said, Michael, you should think about going to Crean-Durham Hall High School. Now at this time, I had no idea what Crean-Durham Hall High School was. And just to let you guys know, it's one of the best private Catholic schools in Minnesota. And they bring, everyone there goes to college. 98% of them graduate and go on to college. And they had a pipeline for student athletes, getting full ride scholarships. So they were playing that next Friday, Crean-Durham Hall versus a public school, Johnson High School. Now that's where all my friends are gonna go. So both of them were 7-0. I said, whoever wins this game, that's what school I'm gonna go to. And Creedon beat them like 70-6. I said, that's the school I want to go to. So I applied with my best friend at the time, and we got in. Now at this time, I had no idea what Crean-Durham Hall was about. I come from public schools. I come from a rough area where, there's fights all the time. There's detention, kids getting in trouble. So I had to change the way I was. I had to really look at myself and be like, Michael, if you're going to be a good student at this school, you got to follow the rules. You can't be doing dumb stuff, Michael. Not anymore. Not at this establishment. You can't. And I remember 9th grade, I get there, and at Crean-Durham Hall, you have to start as a freshman, playing freshman football. And we had a good, successful season. But the real challenge was, can I be a starter as a sophomore? And I remember these 2 juniors came up to me my sophomore year, going into my sophomore year. It sounded just like, I don't know if some of you guys saw Remember the Titans. But I remember when one of the guys, Gary, came up to the coach and goes, hey, we already got our guys, we're already set. That's what these 2 dudes came up to me and said. They were on my team. And they're saying that to me. And I said, okay. I kept my head down, I just kept grinding. I just kept crafting on my work, on how I could do to get better. And I became a starter. And I don't really know my statistics, but I had a good season. And a good enough season where I got a scholarship. And the way I got that scholarship, Coach Ianello, Rob Ianello, was recruiting a lineman at our school. And he saw the state championship came, me scoring a touchdown, jumping over 2 guys. The next day, he came to school and offered me a full-ride scholarship. It was Notre Dame. I could have went to any school I wanted to, besides the one school that didn't offer me a scholarship. And that was the University of Southern California, USC. Now some of you guys don't know, but USC back, I'm a little old, I'm getting gray hairs. USC was the top team back in the day. Like some of these names, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer, Lindell, White, great players. But the only school in the country that didn't give me a scholarship. So I said to myself, I want to go to a school where I play them every single year. That's what I want to do. I didn't know South Bend would be what it is, but I ended up liking it. But for a lot of people that don't know, I didn't start when I got to the University of Notre Dame. It wasn't until one of the 5th-year seniors got hurt in the first game. And the next play, it was my time to go in. And that following play was a goal ball. A straight line down the field, the quarterback drops back and just throws it up. And I scored like a 65-yard touchdown. And that's what really ignited my career at the University of Notre Dame. So I went on to have a good sophomore year. At the same time, too, my head was up here. No one could tell me anything. And when you're one of them guys as an athlete at the University of Notre Dame, no one's going to say anything to you. They're not. You miss an assignment, oh, it's okay, Michael. You just turn it in when you can. That's if you're winning. But if you lose, it's going in. But no one would have said anything to me. So I thought in my head I was invincible. I thought I could move around as much as I wanted to, and there'll be no consequences. So junior year came, and that year, after that year, I was thinking about leaving college. And I remember after the season, spring ball, going into my junior year, I'm sitting on my couch, and a freshman comes in after a night of both of us going out. And he asked me, can I drop him off on campus? This is the night after drinking. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll drop you off. Like I was totally in the right headspace. And I dropped him off. And when I left him, I rolled a stop sign and a police officer pulled me over. And I was booked in jail. I was booked for a DUI. Now, some of you guys might not know, some of you guys might know. But like if someone gets a DUI, maybe your mom, your dad knows, shame on you, you're punished, you're grounded. Imagine waking up and your whole face is plastered on every sports channel there is. There's no hiding what you did. Michael, the whole world knows. I felt ashamed. I felt embarrassed. I let my family down. I remember my mom, I don't know how she got money to get to Notre Dame because we didn't have anything. But I remember she picked me up from jail and she just looked at me and she goes, I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you. And that just made me bawl and cry because I let her down. All the opportunities that I had, all the hands that gave me to lead me to this beautiful college, I end up doing something dumb and potentially not being able to fulfill my dreams of making it to the NFL. So I got kicked off the team for spring ball. They said, Michael, you can't play spring ball. Now, some of you guys don't know this either, but no one really wants to play spring ball. it's just extra on your legs, and nobody wants to play spring ball, so that's a win. I'm like, oh, great. I can move as I want to still. I still feel invincible because nothing happened to me. Being suspended for spring ball was like a gift. So I kept doing the same old things. There was a player development coach, Tim. He sat me in his office one day and he goes, Michael, if you want your dreams to come true, you gotta lock in. You gotta stop thinking you're invincible, put your head down, and just grind. And if you do that, Michael, your dreams are going to come true. So that's exactly what I did. I stopped going out, I stopped partying, and I had a great successful year. I graduated from the University of Notre Dame in 3.5 years. First person in my family to do it. And that's all my mom was proud about. She didn't care about football. She cared about my education. And after my senior year, I put myself in position to be the 13th pick in the 2012 NFL draft to the Arizona Cardinals, right here. And when I got here, this is my first time being here. I had knew nothing about this place, other than it was super hot. In Minnesota, the flights get delayed because they have to defrost the plane. When I came here, they said the plane was too hot and it got delayed. I'm like, what the heck? I never heard of something like this. So the Arizona Cardinals, at the time, Ken Wisenhunt, he didn't play rookies. And that whole rookie year, I kept on getting the question of like, you know, what were you doing that night? Why did you do that? And all I can say is, I don't know, I made a terrible decision. But I'm here now, let's move on. I'm trying to move on with my life. So after my rookie year, Ken Wisenhunt got fired. Bruce Arians comes in. My guy. Great dude. But I remember I was sitting in the same position that I was on the bench, and I let the older guys come up, and he beeped his whistle, and he said, Michael, what are you doing? Get out here. And that was the start of my NFL career. I played 5.5 years here, loving life, but still doing the same things that I did in college that I didn't get in trouble for. Partying, drinking, women. Sorry, honey, she's in the back, but nothing for her. But no one told me anything. You have all this money, millions of dollars, and you have everything you want right here with no consequences. So I go about my way. I have fun. Then my 5th year came. I got my contract picked up. I'm making a lot more money now. In that time, I decided to get in the car again. And I fell asleep at the wheel. Now you would have thought I learned my lesson the first time. No. And I think honestly, it's because I didn't have any consequences. No one told me to really stop. There was no punishment. I didn't lose anything. I graduated, I made it to the NFL, that was a dream come true. What else? Nothing else is going to stop me. Until this time. I lost my job. I was fired from the Arizona Cardinals, and again, I was in a slump. I didn't know what to do. I thought I would never play football again. A week went past and New England Patriots picked me up. And that year, they were good. And you young kids know on social media, a lot of people talk a lot of crap sometimes, right? So the Arizona Cardinals fans were so upset that I got picked up by the New England Patriots. And I was happy because I got picked up. Yeah, my face was all over the news once again. I feel terrible, embarrassed. But 2 days later, I got picked up by the New England Patriots, by the best team in the NFL. Oh, nothing happened to me again. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't have a problem. No one can tell me anything. There's nothing wrong with me. It was just 2 mistakes, right? Just 2 mistakes. I still have my job. I went on to win the Super Bowl that year. And sorry, I forgot my Super Bowl ring. I was going to pass it around to show you guys, but I forgot it. But I won the Super Bowl that year. 31-28. We won in overtime. Went down to Boston 2 days later. Had the whole Super Bowl party. You're on the buses, throwing stuff, having fun. At this still time, my case in Arizona was still ongoing. They were figuring out what they wanted to do with me. So I get back to Arizona after the Super Bowl party, and the courts decided to put me in jail for 30 days. I went from the highest peak of winning the Super Bowl to 3 days later, I was spending in jail for 30 days. And for the first time in my life, I was scared. I remember calling my mom on the phone, crying. Because it was the first time ever in my life I was scared. And after I got done with that sentence, still, I kept on doing the old Michael things. Hanging out, partying, having fun. You would have still thought I would learn my lesson, but I didn't. I was a free agent at the time, no job, just hanging out. And I got picked up by the Minnesota Vikings. Spent a year there. It was good. They gave me a 1-year deal worth X amount of money. And to get all that money, I had to get 40 catches. I'm like, great, this is easy. Easy money, 40 catches. Never played. Never played. So at this, now I'm 28 years old. You're considered an old person in the NFL. So that season went by, and nothing happened. I was still a free agent. The Washington Commanders called me and said I could come over for a workout. I made the team. And that year, I think I had 1 touchdown. That was the first touchdown I had in 3 years. I was crying. I felt like I was back to my old self, but still dealing with stuff in my life that I couldn't control. When I was a free agent, that's when I met my wife. Her name's Cindy. You might see her walking around here somewhere. Say hello. But for the first 3 years of our marriage, 4 years of our marriage, I was continuing doing the same thing. Hanging out, going out, being the only one that's drunk. Everyone else is totally fine besides me. I just do too much. And I tell her I had fun. Really, I didn't really remember what I was doing. And we went to Jamaica for a trip, and I was acting a fool there. And when I got home, she told me to pack my stuff and get out the house. I had to stay in a hotel for 3 days, by myself, alone in my own feelings. 2 kids at the time at home. Have no idea what's going on. And it was just me and myself, looking at myself in the mirror and saying to myself, what do I want from my life? What do I want? Michael, do you want to choose the booze or do you want to choose your family? Which one? And for me right there, spending those 2 days in the hotel by myself, it was an easy choice. I chose my family. And that was an easy choice because I know how it felt growing up, not having a dad around. I know how that felt not being able to ask my dad a question or being able to get a ride from my father. That's what my kids wanted, and that's what I wanted for my kids. I'm 3.5 years sober now. And partying is the same, minus the alcohol. I still have the same fun, still the same smile, still dancing, having fun. My wife would tell me I can't dance, but that's okay. But life is good. But with everyone struggles with something. I don't care who you are. Everybody had an episode in their life, whether it's death, a job loss, anything like that. Everyone goes through struggles. And my wife was the person who helped me get out of those struggles, because she put her foot down. And for the first time, that was the first person that ever said no to me. And I liked it. She made me a better person. And I say kudos to her because that's a very strong woman there. And I can't thank her enough. But you guys are embarking on one of the best transitions ever. College is great. They say your 5 closest friends are what you're probably going to be. Now, the guys that I grew up with are still my friends, but they didn't have the goals and aspirations that I did. So when I got to college, I had to meet new people. When I got to high school, I had to meet new people. I have the same 5 friends from high school, and we all are very successful in everything that we do. IT, medical sales, all at the top of their team. If you have goals, go for them. 3rd grade, my dad told me I could make it into the NFL. And I made that dream come true. When you have goals and you strive for them, and let me tell you, there's going to be bumps in the road. When you get to college, there's going to be bumps in the road. You're not going to get the best grade on the assignment. You're going to miss something. You're going to be late. You're going to be sick. Something that's going to come up. How are you going to deal with that? You pivot and adjust because you see what's at the end of that tunnel. And that's the light. And whatever job and goals and aspirations you have for your life. you can get it done. If I can do it, you guys can do it. I'm so happy for you guys. This is just like it's like my own kids being in this situation, going into college. And I feel like college, some people say don't go to college, but I think college is somewhere where you truly find yourself, where you learn and grow as individuals. And I say to you guys, if you really want something to happen, you will do whatever it takes to get the job done. I want to say thank you to Kiwanis College and Janet for reaching out to me, having me come over here and speak to you guys all the way from 50 degrees Minnesota. But I'm so happy back to be here. I love speaking to you guys, young people, because you guys are the future. You guys are the future. You guys are the people who can change the world. And when you truly believe that in your head, it's going to happen. It's not where you started, it's where you finish. Thank you for the music. Thank you guys. Congratulations. And I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you, Michael, for inspiring us, but please don't walk off the stage just yet. There are awards that recognize what someone has accomplished, and then there are awards that recognize who someone has become. Tonight, we honor the latter. When Michael Floyd created the Make a Difference Invitational, he understood something profound. It's a platform to align purpose with action. Michael envisioned a space where athletes, leaders, and community members unite around one belief: every child deserves a shot at life, at feeling seen, at being equipped with support and guidance to chase their dreams. But Michael knows something critical. For at-risk and underprivileged youth facing barriers and limited resources, that support becomes essential. They're the ones who need the champions the most. That's exactly who his efforts serve. Through the Make a Difference Invitational and the Michael Floyd Foundation, Michael has created pathways of opportunities for kids who might otherwise be overlooked. He's saying to them, you matter, your potential matters, and I'm going to help you reach it. This award recognizes not just generosity, but vision. Michael has taken his platform, his story, his passion, and transformed them into tangible opportunities for young people who need it most. He's rallied a community around a mission bigger than any individual, proving that true championship is measured not in wins and losses, but in lives changed. This year's Champion for Kids Award goes to someone who embodies our mission completely, someone who understands that improving the quality of life for kids in our communities isn't a gesture, it's a calling. Please join me in celebrating our 2026 Champion for Kids, Michael Floyd.